Stop calling me, you
Listen to me. We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Do you hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is your first time here, welcome to my beauty entertainment channel. Absolutely. So if you would like to follow me on social media, here's my Twitter and my Instagram. Go have fun, enjoy yourself on there. And while you're here, you can check out some of my recent videos that are on your screen right now. So a couple days ago, I posted me ranking all of the, before this, I would have posted a Let's Talk New Releases. So yeah, I would have posted that before this. And before that, I posted ranking the songs on Chloe and Halle's Ungodly Hour. And then before that, I posted the 4th installment of my Sims Let's Play series. So much fun. I also made a Patreon. I'll link that in the description box down below. I have like 2 videos up there and a podcast up there. So that's all fun and dandy. Okay. So I've been having this, okay. Whenever I make videos like this, it's because I talk to myself a lot. This was even before pandemic. I like to talk things out. I like to draw things out. So I like to have a lot of conversations with myself. So this is built off of one of the conversations I've had with myself, because when I was sitting down one day and I was watching a bunch of makeup tutorials, and I haven't done that in a while, but it had been a minute since I'd sat down and watched just like a ton of makeup tutorials. So I was like, what happened to the beauty YouTuber? Because I was also reminiscing, I don't know what made me reminisce on 2018. Maybe it was a nightmare. I don't know exactly what happened, but I started thinking about like 2018, 2017, and how really different everything is now compared to then. So, you know, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. We're gonna be talking about what happened to the beauty YouTuber. That's a very dramatic title. They're still here. It's just, just watch, okay. So recently, I've been thinking about, and not really just me, but like, we've been seeing, as of like a couple of weeks, a bunch of beauty YouTubers who used to be like at the very top of their field, trying to stay relevant by getting into a bunch of mess, by making out with Tana Mojo, and by defending and dying on a hill of Nikita Dragon. So you know who I'm talking about. But he's not the only example of this. It's kind of been like a bunch of people like trying to maintain relevancy. And if you think back to where they were like at like just even like 2 or 3 years ago, it's like, oh, how sad. And if you've been watching beauty YouTube or engaged in like the beauty community for like almost literally for almost like any period of time, you've noticed like a shift. You've noticed like a change, because there's been a change. I'm gonna use this brush today. There has been a change in the way things have been going, and there's a shift. It's not the same right now. And you can say this is a good or a bad thing. In my opinion, it's a good thing for people who are just genuinely interested in makeup and want to just hear people talk about makeup. I'll get back to that. And just, but it's kind of bad is more on the creator side in terms of like creator engagement issues, not for all, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later as well. So we've also been noticing a shift in the beauty community in general, just about what type of beauty content people are gravitating towards nowadays. It's not what people are watching in 2018. Now, most recently, it's going back. It's like a content that we used to watch before then, and I think there's multiple reasons as to why. So I'm gonna go like take you on a little journey. So what kind of power did the beauty YouTuber have in the past? So first, let's discuss like the past, what was like for the beauty YouTuber like a couple of years ago. So as YouTube became to pick up steam like as a platform, there was always one, I'm looking in a mirror, sorry. There was always one section of YouTube that had the power. One group like reigned supreme over the rest of the groups. I'm not saying that there wasn't like famous YouTubers from all sections of YouTube, but in general, there was like one group, one section that reigned supreme. when YouTube first started, it was like comedic YouTube. It was like the funny, some of them were not that funny YouTube. Then we got like lifestyle teen girl YouTube with like Bethany Moda, My Life is Ava, etc, etc. And then with that, beauty YouTube started to pick up steam. Now, of course, beauty YouTubers had been on the platform for a lot longer than that, but once people, I'll use me as an example, started watching the teen girl lifestyle and started watching them do makeup, well, I couldn't watch Bethany Moda do makeup. I could watch her do makeup. I couldn't really take any of her tips because so I had to go find like beauty YouTube. But beauty YouTube back then had not reached its full potential yet. And then with the end of Vine, we saw Storytime YouTuber pick up and just Watch Me Live My Life YouTube pick up. And then we went back a hop, skip of a jump, and then beauty YouTube took over. Do I even need to outline the top of my brows? It looks fine. I'm going to. It's gonna bother me if I don't. So like beauty YouTubers were the talk of the town. I would say from about like 2015, early 2016, like that period of time to mid 2019, almost a full like 3-year run. And frankly, I think that's impressive considering what was happening in those 3 years. I would say 2017/2018 was definitely a peak, and there were events in 2018 that could have been like the entire downfall, but the power of the community and other influencers didn't let it. But I'll talk about that in a second. So beauty YouTubers at first started off just being regular people just putting on makeup in front of a camera. And I think we've done almost a full 180 and we're getting back to this exact thing now. But that's what it started off. That's how it started off in like 2015. But with this almost reboot, I guess you could call it, of the beauty community in like 2016, 2017 came the larger than life personas from new characters and from old characters. This came from just views on YouTube, and a lot more people were watching YouTube now. And like before this, it wasn't always unheard of. No, it wasn't always like normal for a beauty YouTuber to get like 1 million views on a video. Like before this whole happened, that was like, what? That was like nearly unheard of. And as time went on, it became like normal for a beauty YouTuber to get 1 million subscribers. Now it's like, what do you mean that's completely normal? Before it was not. Before it was not at all. It's like some of the biggest faves on this platform spent a while, years under 1 million. And of course there were other issues at play like racism, sexism, that sort of stuff. But what caused all of this to happen, what caused all of this to happen was a humongous influx of interest into makeup as a thing, as an art form, or almost. So makeup became cool. It was no longer, oh, well, your mom just gonna teach you how to do makeup for your 8th grade graduation. Makeup became this, oh, this is this thing that I can learn, and the thing I can learn from a community on YouTube. I can find a community and use it as some sort of art form. And it always was an art form, but it became this, and people realized that they could make money from it. Yes, it takes a lot of skill to learn, but the reward could be ever so great, right? As well with YouTube and anyone being able to create anything, it became a space where anyone could learn how to do makeup. And you'll be judged if you go up to the makeup counter. If you're like a boy, they might turn you away. They'll be like, you can't do makeup, like buffoons. All these people are buffoons. Or if like you're black and you go up to makeup counter, they might be like, we have nothing for you, and so etc. So YouTube became sort of a space where, in theory, it didn't always isn't always the most accepting space to all people. Is not, but in theory, it was in theory that anyone could learn makeup from anyone without judgment on YouTube. Makeup pretty much became the talk of the talk, not just like there, pretty much on all forms of social media. And like everyone wanted to know how to do a cut crease. That was like the whole thing, the whole shebang, the whole like this was what people wanted and what people wanted to see from other people on a platform such as YouTube, right? Here it is. Okay. So, and we saw brands start to pay attention to this rise up. Brands all these beauty brands that we talk about now have existed long before this big boom in makeup. But when this big boom in makeup happened, it was clear to see which brands were paying attention and were going to start setting the trends. Now that we have, it's not just makeup artists, it's not just it's not just like makeup artists who we're talking to now a whole social media community. Let's start trends, let's set trends. And one of the biggest brands that did this was Anastasia Beverly Hills, who we know and have thoughts about. So the Modern Renaissance palette, and that is such a fitting name because it was really the modern renaissance of the beauty community in some form of way. A palette that now looks kind of mundane. It was nearly revolutionary back then. Warm cranberry tones were literally unheard of, and now everybody wanted it and everyone wanted to be able to use it. So you go to YouTube to learn how, right? This palette comes out warm tones, huh? You can put cranberry on your eyes and not look ridiculous, huh? That's what was going on. And I want to make it clear that this was the start of the big personality YouTuber. People realize, yeah, people will watch you put on makeup. You can still like kind of quote unquote get away with that at this point, but more people will watch you if as you're putting on makeup, you're putting on a show. If you can make them laugh, if you can crack jokes, if you can do little anecdotes, etc., you're golden, because that stuff will sell, and that stuff will sell well. And with this, we saw the rise of sponsorships. And of course, this rise happened in secret because they didn't tell nobody. Because of these super big, boisterous personalities and larger than life personas, while still maintaining relatability, this did not last. It never lasts. Relatability never lasts. It doesn't get you anywhere. This started to like emulate something of a reality show. And I'm coming back here. I actually made a whole video talking about how YouTube kind of became the new sort of reality show, and like because of this, no one really, if you look back like in hindsight, no one really noticed anything strange that was happening. And there were strange things happening. There were brands coming out of nowhere, things we had never heard of before coming out of nowhere. And if you look back, you're like, why didn't we question how all these things came to be? And it's like, why would you? We were watching the YouTuber. The ideas of YouTubers making money, like a lot of money, huh? YouTubers can make money by showing a singular product. YouTubers can make money by using one product and not telling anyone they were using this, they were being paid to use this one product, huh? In hindsight, it's ridiculous, because people would do any and everything beauty YouTubers say. Like Nikki Tutorials had us putting on aftershave balm as primer, and we did it. I did it. No one really questioned anything. And people were like, is that safe? Maybe. I don't know. I did it for like months. People bought Morphe. People bought a new brand that came out of literally nowhere. Because Jaclyn Hill, who also literally just sold us Sigma months before, said these brushes would change your life. And nobody said anything because Jaclyn Hill is our friend. Jaclyn Hill would never lie to us. That's what life was like. So while giving us these larger than life personas, beauty YouTubers made sure to remind us that they're just like us. They still, from before how it was just regular people putting on makeup, they added in these larger than life personas, but still tried their darndest to maintain relatability. That's why the sponsorships were hush hush. I can't let my friends know that I'm making money off of them being a sucker. Can't let them know that. PR unboxing, like big, huge PR unboxing videos, that was not a thing. I can't let my friends know I get thousands and thousands of dollars in makeup for free. But that didn't last. Relatability of the beauty YouTuber didn't last and couldn't last because what happened? The drama channel rose, specifically Here for the Tea happened. And she pretty much blew the lid on the undisclosed sponsorships and the affiliate codes and what those actually meant, because no one had it, because this was a brand new idea. Who knows what an affiliate code is? No one. No one. And the curtain came crumbling down, and everyone saw the interworks of what actually was making beauty YouTube turn. And it was a ton of money. Oh my goodness. So the aura of that's just my friend speaking to me, this is just a regular person talking about makeup who just happened to get big, disappeared. Once people got the wind of what was happening, all of this disappeared. And so, what happened? They had to come up with something quick. They had to come up with something quick, so what do? They leaned into it. They leaned into it fully. They said, okay, y'all think we are money hungry, power hungry scammers? Okay, let's play hardball. We're gonna lean into it big time. And this is when we saw, this is like 2017, 2018. Like, not 2017 is what I'm talking about. This is when we started to get brand trips every 4 months. Look at me. Look at us, the ever powerful beauty YouTuber. We get to go to Bali to promote a mascara. We get to go to tropical island after tropical island to promote blush. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. We're not relatable anymore. We can't be relatable to you. You don't get flown out to private islands to promote foundation. Loser. No, that's when we started getting super luxe, extravagant PR boxes, like stuff that actually made no sense. Like if you go watch, some people might not have them up. If you go watch like PR unboxings from 2017, 2018, brands used to just throw any and everything into a box and were like PR. So they'd bring like this whole, like they putting out these like humongous boxes for like 3 products, but everyone wanted to make it into a PR unboxing. People wanted to make it on people's Instagram stories, and they post them. They're like, you guys don't get these PR boxes. I do though. You guys don't. You guys can't be me. Not everyone can do what I do. Everyone wants what I have, but you guys will never get it. That was sort of the mentality. And this is when we started also getting these massive friend groups. Obviously not saying beauty YouTubers, they weren't friends before, but this is when, you know, it started getting a little weird. It started getting a little calculated. It started getting a little scheduled. It started to get big friend groups that always seemed to end in scandal and fights, pre-planned, allegedly. Getting a little calculated. This is when we got the HBIC Mean Girls cosplay from the beauty community. This is when the Dramageddon started to happen. And as this is all happening, as, keyword here is as, because the boom of the drama channel started this whole thing off. As the drama channels began to rise and were the ones who were actually covering these extreme, allegedly planned scandals, we are literally watching reality TV. The beauty community and pretty much the beauty industry in conjunction became a reality television show. These big boisterous personas that had been building over the past few years became the entire norm. It was almost like, you don't have this big, for most people, fake personality you show off to your YouTube subscribers? What? How are you getting any subscribers? And then because of this reality TV show-esque sort of thing, once we started seeing people started getting millions and millions of subscribers in like a year and a half, beauty YouTubers started to basically transcend YouTube. People who were not interested in makeup in the slightest were watching beauty YouTubers. I thought about that one day. Like my friends, people I knew who don't know what bronzer is, would watch like James Charles. James Charles is the example I'm going to use because he did this. It's almost impressive on like the largest scale possible. He was able to amass an audience of people who couldn't tell you the difference between a crease blush and a blending brush. Look at me, all tongue-tied and twisted. In particular, so he was able to do this in the beauty community, and then he was able to do it on a larger scale because of the Sister Squad, if you remember what that is, right? OMG, going back a long time. So Pretty Girl, Visco Girl YouTube, basically Emma Chamberlain and a bunch of people trying to be Emma Chamberlain, was also gaining popularity at this time because of Emma Chamberlain. The girl created an entire she revamped like 2014 YouTube. She kind of made it the remix and then added in the story time element of YouTube in the past. Created her own genre. Trailblazer, okay? He took his own beauty community power and growth and on YouTube, it being one of the biggest sections of YouTube, meshed it with that booming section of YouTube. And when I say booming, it already boomed. It's over now. Didn't even last 2 years, because when you're trying to emulate one person but you don't have the personality of that one person, it doesn't last. It doesn't last. That whole, and then with the fall of Dope, that just all went downhill so very fast. They didn't have the power. The power was in one singular person. It didn't go into a bunch of people. Okay, back to my point. So he took the beauty community power, meshed it with that then growing section of YouTube, which was kind of, again, 2014, the remix, but also if you were watching YouTube in 2014, it also gave you a sense of nostalgia, people going back to just talking in front of a camera, just about their life, bunch of teenage girls just talking. And then, you know, added in Dolan twins for spice, and then it was history from there. You could spend a whole, I could spend like a whole time just unpacking the Sister Squad in general, just as a thing, as a group of people, because it's actually very interesting to like think about if you really think about it. The beauty people on YouTube were the people other people on YouTube wanted to collaborate. They were who people used to get views. It wasn't TikTokers. It was beauty community members. The inter beauty community collaborations got these people views, made them millions, and got them collaborations with brands, increasing the check, making it all worth it. We had Jaclyn Hill's first fiasco with Morphe, and then literally later that year the James Charles x Morphe collection happened and almost wiped the slate clean. This is what I was talking about before, how like events transpired in 2018. Jaclyn Hill's Morphe collection could have very well like started the downfall, but Jaclyn Hill in particular is one of those who had come up in the still relatable, even though the curtain had been knocked down. A bunch of people who had been watching Jaclyn Hill since before the curtain went down, and that element of she's still my friend even though she stopped trying to portray relatability at all. She stopped that super quick because it wasn't working. They still had faith in her. But from an outsider looking in, you might have been like, why didn't that stop everything? Why didn't that knock everything down? Well, James Charles's Morphe collection came out, went off without a hitch. Nothing pretty much went that wrong with that collection, and wiped the slate clean. Drama channels had a field day with Jaclyn Hill, and influencers in general, like that entire summer. But then James's launch almost negated that. Not really, but pretty much, because they were like, influencers are this, that, and the third, and then his collaboration came out, and it had its issues, but I mean, nothing really compares to the Jaclyn Hill Morphe vault. Nothing, even if his had major issues, nothing would have really compared to what happened that summer. And because speaking of that, most of the stuff influencers did and got away with in 2018 and early 2019 would literally never fly now. Even 2017 too, would literally never fly now. Pretty much because people are over it. People are over it. People are over the facade. People are over the big boisterous person. They're over it. People have moved on to bigger and better things, and bigger and better things are not that bigger and better, just moved over one little app. So people, where's my water? Been talking for a while. People have been over it for a minute. Why? The reason that the reality TV show element, reality TV shows have to end. The scandals started getting insane. They started getting as an out of this world. Summer 2019, Sistergate and Gummygate in a documentary series, that's insane. Like, most people were like, this is out of hand. Most people, like, after all that happened, it was like hindsight bias. Once 2020 came, and with the rise of commentary YouTube, people were like, that was actually batshit crazy. How was that allowed to happen? Everything this past 3 years, you look back at the past 3 years and you're like, that was all real. That all really happened. Grown adults getting into petty, mundane fights and scandals for clicks and views, that was normal. That's insane. That's insane. People literally existed and still do, because they have to maintain relevancy somehow, exist to get into mess, to get into scandal, to grow their audiences. But those are quick time audiences. Those audiences go away when the scandal goes away. And if no one's paying attention to you, what scandal are you next going to get into? It doesn't make any sense. That's another reason why I want to make it clear that this is not happening to all YouTubers. Beauty YouTubers who didn't involve themselves, who didn't involve themselves in these sort of antics, who just have been churning out consistent good content and minding their business, are doing well now, or as well as a beauty creator still making primarily only beauty content can be doing on a platform that doesn't push beauty content as much as it used to. YouTube used to push beauty content consistently and always. It's stopped now because beauty content isn't what's making them money anymore, because times have changed. While all these scandals were happening, the people who were staying out weren't seeing the numbers increase that everyone else was seeing. So you would be like, okay, maybe they're like flopping. That's the word you would use. But in the long run, they're the one who still have some sort of consistent viewership. The people who were in scandal after scandal don't have the consistent viewership anymore. And now they're trying to create some in 2021, in the middle of a pandemic, for their views and clicks. Don't make no sense to me. So like, they're doing as well as creators. Again, this platform does not push beauty content like it used to. So they're doing as well as like they can, but still well nonetheless. So beauty doesn't have the power, makeup in general doesn't have the power on YouTube anymore. And you're probably asking, what does? My answer, because I looked at this, my answer is nothing. I was trying to like figure out what took over, because that's a lot of power. What the beauty community had at its peak was a lot of power on YouTube. The beauty community is what made YouTube run at a certain point. At a certain point, that's what happened. So when I look now, it should be obvious what has as much power now, but there's not an obvious answer. So my answer is nothing. And I say that because I don't think YouTube has that power anymore. I don't think so. YouTube used to hold power, I'm gonna say it again, on social media, because there was almost no competition for YouTube. There was almost, everyone wanted to, again, but this also has to do with like perception and what people want to do and what app or what platform people are currently getting quote unquote famous off of, internet famous, calm down. Everyone wanted to make long form content, or maybe didn't want to, but like the only short form content app that existed was Vine, and that had its own humongous slew of issues, and YouTube was still popping at that time, and everyone wanted to come on here. And now, guess what? There's competition, and you know who the competition is. TikTok has the power. TikTok didn't just take it from like the beauty community, because I'll talk about the beauty community on TikTok in a second. It took the power kind of from YouTube as a whole platform. TikTok was able to take TikTok was able to take what Vine was trying to do, work out all of the kinks, add new features, and make it so creators could monetize their content on the app. And it was literally history from there. And while the bigger YouTube creators are kind of floundering, some are flourishing, but most are floundering. Apps like TikTok, Instagram, in theory, not in practice with the way they're trying to run off small creators off their application, are allowing smaller influencers and like regular people we're almost doing a full like 360, allowing them to thrive. And it's kind of going back to, it's just about the makeup. It's just a regular person doing makeup or talking about makeup. People aren't watching. This is like not sad, but it's just like interesting to see how times have changed, especially for someone like me who's like still really loves makeup. People aren't watching 20-minute makeup tutorials anymore. Like, and it's someone sitting down and just talking about makeup and doing their makeup for like 30 minutes. No. But people will watch a 1-minute video with a song playing in the back. People will watch people do super cool transitions with powders or like beads and stuff into their makeup looks, but not the makeup tutorial. People will watch people do quick cosplay videos or watching a fashion show front row. I just saw the literal coolest TikTok I've ever seen in my entire life. I'll put it like here and I'll link it down below if I can find it. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, that was cooler than almost any makeup tutorial I've ever seen in my entire life, and it was maybe 10 seconds long. 10-second song, just showcasing. Now it's more about showcasing the makeup instead of showing how to get there. Like the attention span that was there in 2018, 2016 isn't there anymore. And there's so many reasons why, but also like TikTok, it didn't always used to be a minute. It used to be like seconds, and people had to fight to make it a minute. A minute was considered too, using how TikTok created their app, they said a minute is too long for people to pay attention. People have to fight to get a minute. That's where our attention span currently is. And now, this is another reason why. Most people pretty much know how to do makeup in the grand scheme of things. Like if you took the percentage of people who were interested in YouTube and social media in general who knew how to do makeup in 2015, if you compared the two percentages, like those people now and then 2015, it's a much larger percentage now of people who already know how to do makeup, because again, 2016 was a major boom, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. Most people know how to do makeup to a certain degree, or at least know how to do it to a point that they like. It's 2021. You probably know how to put a face on, probably know how to do what I just did right now. Most likely. People now are just looking for products. People now are just looking for different techniques, but you know how to put makeup on, look presentable, and leave your house. Most people do. A larger percentage than people who did in 2015. That has to do with age, that has to do with accessibility and things like that. Times have changed. But also, people don't have time for that whole mess to happen again. Watching grown adults engage in nonsense, watching people cry over gummies, Gummigate the remix, Gummigate the sequel. People are just done. I mean, black people have been done for years. Had you listened the first time, maybe this wouldn't have taken so long, but the non-black people were finally like, oh, this is stupid. Had you listened the first time. So like, times have changed in that regard, and I think that people getting over the scandal. Also, there's a pandemic going around, so like how much beauty can you really be talking about, how much products can you really be selling? And then it's all hindsight bias. Like you look back at the past 3 years and look back at what was considered entertainment, and you're like, that was really stupid. That was really stupid and really unnecessary. So now you look at things now and how people are still trying to do the same gig they did in 2018, and we're like, we're in a different world now. We're also in a pandemic world now. Nobody cares. That's also, I talked about this in that podcast when Patrick Star was like, so when Nikita Dragun threw that birthday party and like Patrick Star was like at a restaurant, no mask on, trying to be like, you can't cancel Nikita Dragun, blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah, you guys are just jealous, blah 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 blah. I was like, maybe in the era of the Dramageddon 1 and 2, that would have worked out beneficially for you making a video like that in 2021. No. Times have changed. Multiple things. People are on different apps now. You're a beauty YouTuber who's floundering, Patrick. You're a beauty YouTuber who's floundering. It's okay. But if you're floundering, why would you resort to the same cheap antics used in 2018 when the entire like sphere of the beauty community has changed thus far? This is now, I would say, so like it's a bad, or is it a good thing? I would say the good outweigh the bad, because now small creators are all the hype, all the rise, everything. Small beauty creators are everything right now on every app, on TikTok and on YouTube. Watching smaller creators talk about makeup, it's exactly what it was in like 2015. Regular people just talking about makeup. TikTok, you see like every week or every day somebody new. Instagram, you know, in theory Instagram could be included in this, but I think they're trying to run people off their app. I think it's my conspiracy. They're trying to run people off that app. So I don't know, I would include that app in a different life, but not right now. But like, I still watch makeup videos all the time, and I love it. And I think there is right now this resurgence of just regular people talking about makeup, but now it's more of like, you gotta add in a new element, whatever that new element might be a lot of beauty girls do true crime now. A lot of people talk about stuff while doing their makeup now, like me, etc. People talk about their personal life, because also while the relatability was being maintained early in those days, people never talked about, once the big boisterous personalities came out, talking about yourself stopped. Talking about yourself, even if you had a big boisterous personality, knowing who you are stopped. Knowing who you are as a person stopped. It was just whatever this, like, again, persona you put out into YouTube that people knew. And I think I understand, because I don't talk about my personal life on here. No. But nowadays it don't work. You gotta talk about something, because it doesn't work just talking about makeup anymore. It doesn't. And I think people should start, stealing. Story times. Start doing story times. I know y'all have stories. I know y'all have some if you're a black, I know, and if you've been in beauty for a while, I know you have crazy stories. Story time to come back. Take it from the white girls. They did a bad job. They were all lying anyway. Take their gig. But like what I'm saying is, like, not all hope is lost. So like, while this might be a bad thing in terms of the creators who were like at their very peak back in the day, not all people are still currently thriving, and it's the people who people thought were like flopping or like not growing fast enough because they weren't getting their names involved in scandals and stuff. They still have a larger organic what's that word, niche audience. People who didn't have the biggest niche audience would use scandals to bring in and make their audience bigger. But as your relevancy fades, all those people go away and you're left with like 5 people standing who actually like you as a human being. The people who decided, instead of growing all this fluff, all this fake audience, I'm gonna grow this, are doing just fine. Are doing just fine and dandy. So yeah, that was my discussion, rant, just like flesh thought out. I had like shower conversation about like what is going on in the beauty community, because I know everyone sees it. It's not the same. Also, we have like the big brands are all out. Nobody cares. Indie brands. Morphe is even on the outskirts. I don't think Morphe has too much to lose. Should just give up. I love it to be abolished, but I think they have too much to lose, so they're gonna keep working. Indie brands have taken over everything. For better or for worse, ColourPop took over everything. You're excluding me. Whatever. We also see because trends set the trends, because this pandemic is just, there can't be a trend. Last 2019 it was Euphoria. Euphoria set a trend. The Euphoria style people have been doing that for years and years and years, but Euphoria, the show, brought it back into one collective and set a trend for an entire year. And then season 2 never happened, or it's going to happen, I think, later this year. So maybe we'll see another trend be set, and we'll see the beauty community because everyone's kind of in frazzles right now, but not, because smaller creators are thriving and doing better and better and better, because now it's back to the makeup. If you're interested in makeup, there are people who are just like you, interested in makeup, who want to just talk about makeup, or who just want to do makeup. Even though Instagram has its issues, I find a new black girl doing makeup every single day on there on my Explore page. And I'm falling, because I said, woo, we are back. The small creators are back. And they're in charge. Thank God. Thank God for that, because who knows? Oof. That's the end of my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I like this foundation. I used the Huda Beauty Stick Foundation again today. I like stick foundations now. I have not worn it outside though. And it's also winter, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's the end of my video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think happened to the beauty YouTuber. It's like the curtain fell with the undisclosed sponsorships. The curtain really fell once people were like, you guys are like pushing 40, acting like high schoolers. And then drama channels, commentary channels, it's a lot of curtains have been falling. And I think no one cares anymore. Like, the curtain fell, we see the wizard. Like, nobody cares anymore. Let's get authentic again. Let's get organic again. So yeah, that's the end of my video. So if you'd like to follow me on social media, here's my Twitter and my Instagram. Go have fun, enjoy yourself on there. And while you're here, check out some of my recent videos, which should be on your screen right about now. Fun, 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 fun. And yeah, I hope you guys liked this video, enjoyed this video. Hope you're staying healthy and safe inside your homes. I want my vaccine ASAP. Talking to a wall here. I want my vaccine ASAP. Whatever. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.